All right, we're on air. Happy Thursday, April 6th. It's a new month. That's exciting. So happy April, everybody. This meeting is a meeting to review development tasks, things we're currently working on for Backdrop Core Contrib and supporting projects. We have a section at the beginning of this meeting where the PMC can provide any updates to the general community. And the one thing that I wanted everybody to know that we're working on right now is our code of conduct. And we have a public GitHub repository, which is under the Backdrop Ops group called Conduct, that has a current draft of the code of conduct. It has an issue queue. If anyone has thoughts on ways that we can improve that code of conduct, I would encourage everybody to participate there. We're soliciting feedback, and any language changes or whatever can happen in pull requests or just a comment if you don't want to do a pull request, and we can figure out how to incorporate that into the code of conduct. So definitely open to feedback there. All right, for backdropcms.org, we've been working on rolling out a redesign of our homepage for the last few months. Updates on that front. Wes is back. He's gonna take the reins back from us on trying to figure out how to get from what we have now to where we want to be. I'm working on sending him the stuff he needs to get up to date, and then we will continue to move forward with that. The forum website, I applied the fixes that we thought would fix the problem last week, and I can't tell if they've fixed half the problem, but I did some testing and it doesn't seem entirely fixed, so we're going to keep working on that. That same fix that we applied to the forum site, I put on the translation site as well, the localized backdropcms.org, and I didn't do any testing there. I only did testing on the forum, but I would expect similar results. So I don't know if I also need to apply that patch to backdropcms.org, the main site, or if we should. I didn't look at it in complete detail, but we do need to do some more follow-up and figure out what's going on and try and get our user experience of logging in on subsites more seamless, I think, before we start promoting those sites too much. Translation server, I don't know if anything's happened other than the bakery problem in the last week. I was a little underwater last week with a bunch of other stuff I was working on, so I'm sorry I didn't get that resolved fast enough, but I'm glad that you were able to finally get logged in. Okay. So other stuff we're working on is mostly related to Backdrop CMS, the product, as opposed to the websites. And Nate, do you want to take it over from here?
Mute. Wow. Yeah, we really did trim down the schedule. So, okay. Yay. Okay. So status updates for Backdrop, the product. Bug fix releases, our next bug fix release is 1.6.4. There's no major issues that are currently outstanding for the 1.6 release, and so bug fixes are just being merged in on an as-is needed basis. So yeah, nothing new in the 1.6 realm. Items for 1.7. So 1.7 is coming out May 15th. That is a little over a month from now, but we have until the end of April to implement all of our changes. So we've got 3 weeks remaining, basically, in the 1.7 development cycle. We have a number of features that we would like to get slated for 1.7. Some items have already been merged, and there's a bunch of items that you can find in the GitHub issue tracker under the 1.7.0 milestone. But a couple of items that we have to call out here include a redesign of the status report, which is issue 485. And that's seen a little bit of activity. I know Gregory has been re-rolling and updating that pull request, which is great. That still needs a little bit of more reviews. And actually, since we have a designer type person in this meeting, maybe Wes, you could take a look at it. Sorry, that's what you get for joining the meeting and being on the designery side of things. But but issue 45
Status
is
message
just
one?
Yeah, the status message one. And it's not really like a redesign or even like a designing of the entire page. I know Drupal 8.3 came out yesterday, and they also did a redesign of the status report. So perhaps this is where Gregory got his inspiration. But our version isn't really a design of the status report so much as bringing the status report page in line with the rest of the administrative theme. So it's not really restructuring so much as just making it look the same as everything
Well, there's
else.
also some conversation about like whether we should be changing the sort order. Like, do we put it's like a user experience design thing, so more than like a beauty design thing. Like, we're not trying to like put icons on the PHP version like Drupal 8 did. But trying to think like when you come to this status report, what is the information you need and how do we deliver it to you in a way that is most useful? And so there's a couple of different use cases for that. I'm trying to figure out how do we meet all of those. So just kind of user experience update as well as color fixing the color bars situation we have now.
In addition to that one, also in the design world, and kind of related to trying to make our administrative interfaces consistent or updated with the new administrative theme that we've had since 1.2. It looks like there is an ambitious issue, perhaps issue 930, that is a redesign of the Views UI or a refreshing of the Views UI. I haven't actually seen this one prior to it just getting added to this agenda. Somebody slipped this in here.
Well, I didn't. I think Jen did, but yeah. So basically, I apparently know that Views 7 and Views 8, and Views in Drupal 7, Views in Drupal 8 maintainers well, and so I'm going to try and redesign each of them, all kind of in tandem, as my next big thing that I want to do, other than helping out with backdropcms.org. So I just talked to the Views in Drupal 8 guy, and we'll be meeting with him probably next week about what like the first steps are going to be, and I'm going to start wrapping my head around what the problems I see are and what my goals are, kind of thing, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
So I don't think I added this in here. I think this might have been Gregory because it's his issue that he linked to. But this, Wes, you should take a look at this too.
What's the saying that he put it in there? I think.
Oh no, I didn't.
No,
I just assumed somebody put it in there for me since I mentioned it last
we
meeting.
just talked about it. Yeah, but then his issue, he actually like filed a pull request that's just like removed borders. Like it's pretty straightforward. But I would encourage you, Wes, if you're like, whoa, I'm about to do this. Also, like, if there's anything in there that's not in line with what you would do, we maybe shouldn't do it. But it does look super minor, and so maybe not as unrealistic as it sounds. This first one.
It might be. It's not a bad idea for us to start thinking about 1.8. So, yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, that's a new one to look at. But I guess awesome. It looks like we're gonna have some refreshed attention on that issue. That issue's been around for quite a while. So, great. Yeah. If it happens, it happens. That would be great. I'm not really sure that this is a really high priority thing for 1.7, but awesome. Yeah, I'd like to see issue or progress on any 1.7 issue or any issue really. So awesome. Let's see. A couple of items that we talk about or that's been brought up pretty much since the 1.6 release are two issues related to layouts. Actually, I guess not three issues related to layouts. One of them is 1704, which is making all page elements into blocks. I saw Lauren did a review of that one, testing it out and saying that it worked well for the most part, but occasionally it resulted in the view or the layout not saving correctly. So it looks like we may need a little bit of work on that issue, but thank you very much for posting a review on that issue. Let's see, that was 1704. So that also could use more eyes, and looks like we need a reroll on that pull request. Layout relationships is issue 2134. I don't think there's any updates since last week on that one. And then port views layout pane displays. This makes it so that views that are configured to display as blocks have settings available when you place them in a layout, and that's issue 2433. That issue is in a needs work state, probably not functional at this point, but it kind of makes lays the groundwork for implementing that. We've only got 3 weeks to go before code freeze for 1.7, so we've got some work to put in to move these issues forward. There's a bunch of other items that are tracked for 1.7 or tagged for 1.7 as well that we don't bring up in the meeting, but they still would be nice to get into 1.7 nonetheless, and you can find those in the GitHub issue tracker under the 1.7.0 milestone. That's all I've got for the product update. That's it.
So it looks like we skipped over the localization server so fast we missed Olaf's update. So if you want to jump in now and tell us what's going on there, that would be great.
Yeah, last week, Geoff wrote a little script to get all the language files from Drupal, which is very nice. So I can automatically get all the files also for modules like views from terminal. So we made some progress there, and today, as I can go log in again to the translation server, I wanted to continue my work, and but I got blocked again from another issue, and I think that's quite critical at the moment because I can't continue, and it has to do with getting the source files for the translation. I made a backdrop 1.61 release for the translation server, and now I wanted to add the newer releases. And I had a workaround to get these source files, but it didn't work, or it's not really reliable, because when I export the source file from a backdrop installation, it's too small, so not all strings come out of it. And so QuickSketch made a proposal how to automate this process, and I think we have to work on it now, because I can't add new releases because we don't have the source files. And maybe we could also, with the help of Geoff, also write a little script similar to that Drupal script to extract these this language file. But if I do it with the current tools, it doesn't work. And there's an issue. I can post it.
Yeah, if you have a link to that issue, that would be great.
Put it in the chat. So this
Fantastic.
one, and then the last comment. Don't know, Nate or Geoff, maybe you got some idea?
Can you put in there? I don't even know how to export source files. If you can give me the steps to do that. The
workaround, yeah. Wait a minute. So you go to the path admin config regional translate export, and there you can export single languages. but you can also export the template. It's under the heading export template, and there you can export the POT file.
Are you talking, Olaf, are you talking about the Drupal 7 module, the translation template extractor? Like that's what that module does? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that has the functionality, and maybe we can also use a part of it.
Yeah, so it sounds like step one, we don't even have that module ported to Backdrop. So it sounds like step one is we need to port that module, the POTX module, which is for POT, that's the translation template file, and then X is export, so POTX. And so once that module is available, then we could at least manually like have a Backdrop release and then export the template and then upload that to the translation server. And then longer term, we could automate that so that on every release, it would automatically export and update. It's not a terrible amount of labor though to just have a Backdrop installation and then use the POTX module to do the exporting. It basically, a summary of what that module actually does, for those that aren't aware, is it actually literally parses the code base and finds all T strings, all the functions that have the calls to the T function, as well as places that are slightly ambiguously translated, like menu item titles, for example, are also translated. And the POTX module goes through the Backdrop or Drupal code base, finds all the locations that need translated strings, and then add those to the list of strings that need to be translated to make a complete translation.
On itself, on the site that it's running on, or on an external repository?
I'm not sure. On the site it's running on? Okay.
I think, yes.
So
but
we might not want to do that on backdropcms.org or on because the localized site is Drupal 7.
Yeah,
so we will need a place to put that module to run it on a Backdrop site.
Yeah, for the beginning, to continue the more manual work, I could install the different Backdrop versions locally and just run it.
Okay, so as long as we can get that module ported to Backdrop, we could do that locally instead of having to have it somewhere. In the long term, we should have a site that we can run it on. That's a little safer.
Sure.
Yeah, it looks like, well,
it's quite big module. It's 160 KB. So I don't know if it's easy to port or if we could port only a part of the module. Or...
My guess, it probably is not difficult. Like, usually with in the world of Backdrop, the more specialized and custom a module is, kind of the easier it is to port, because the more specialized it is, it doesn't have as many integrations with other parts of the system. So you end up porting less because the specialized parts don't have to change at all.
I'd be glad to take a look at that.
So it sounds like step one is get the POTX module ported. And I was jumping the gun on my suggestion saying, we can automate this by building something into the packager, because we need the template extracted first. Okay. Is that it for updates?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
And we have to say thank you again, Olaf, for your continued persistence on working on this translation server. This is it's huge. It would be absolutely fantastically huge to have translations available for Backdrop core and for modules. So this is a really, really critical effort that I'm really happy to have you taking the lead on.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay.
From anyone else that we should talk about before we wrap the meeting? We are going to try, I think, this shortened meeting format again next week. So if you have updates, let us know when we start the meeting so we can get them written into the agenda so we don't actually accidentally skip over you again. And then, yeah, or if you have edit access to the Google Doc, you can drop them in at any time. You're working on stuff today. All right, well, thanks everybody for joining. We will run off to the issue queue and try and take care of the things that need to be taken care of. And we'll see everyone online.
All right, thank you, everybody.